Gives it to Johnson. He's running Johnson! Flicks those biceps, Sean Johnson!
For Wateni's Lesnia, flying!
Oh, lovely step there! Try time!
Well, Andrew, how's the Warriors vibe at the moment on the eve of the finals for 2023?
Yeah, it's exciting. The whole country's loving it. The players are excited. It's been a lot of hard work here and a lot of reward, but yeah, we're pretty focused on what's ahead, and we just don't want to get here and make up the numbers. We want to have a real crack. So yeah, a lot of hard work, a lot of fun, and really excited. But yeah, the boys are really focused.
If someone told you at the start of 2023 when you took on this job that you'd get a top 4 spot to finish the season, would you believe it?
I made it really clear to the boys that, like, what you're probably thinking on day one right now of pre-season, what we'll achieve, you won't know for a while. If you do the hard work and you get a lot of good reps and you start building some confidence in your training, and then after like the first 3 games, you might think, well, wow, we're a chance here. So I said, I always thought if we believed and we worked hard, then we didn't know what we could achieve. I didn't know if it was top 4, top 2 or top 8. We didn't put a number on it. We just wanted to win as many games as we could, but we needed, the most important thing was if we worked hard and got the reps in, we'd start believing in ourselves, or the boys would start believing, and since they've done that, I feel like, you know, the world's been our oyster, really.
Do you have a similar mantra now coming into the finals about don't set expectations, but you might be surprised what we can do?
I mean, the thing is, it's one game at a time, it's boring, but we don't have to focus on anything else. We just got to focus on getting our game on. If we're confident, we're so confident in our game and our style and how we do it. If we put that on, then we can achieve what we want to achieve. If we don't, we won't. So it's it's not easy, but it's a straightforward decision the boys have to make. Are we going to go after what we've done all year and what's worked for us? And if we do that, we're not trying to be something we're not and try and start making things up, then we'll get what we want. So there's going to be a different intensity to it, but yeah, I mean, the rest of the world might be shocked, but whatever we achieve in the finals, if it's good, we won't be.
What about that pressure? Because it's not something you really can prepare for, and some of these guys, a lot of these guys, have not been through that. How do you steel them for that?
I think more of them have been through it at other clubs than people probably think. I mean, Marata was in the grand final, Dylan Walker's won them too, Harris has won plenty. And Tamati Martin's been in grand finals, so I think there's more experience around big games than what people think, but they haven't done it together. They haven't done it here at the Warriors. And our big thing is, let's not wait until we're 2 years or we have a bad final series to work this out. Let's go after it now. Let's have no regrets. And like I said, the belief's there, so we know if we put our game on what we can do. So the pressure, I think the best teams walk towards it and enjoy it. And I haven't seen any signs that these guys are scared or worried about it.
What about for yourself as a coach? Like, obviously you've been there as an assistant, you've seen a lot of success at Penrith, but how does it compare coming in now as the head coach?
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I mean, the difference probably is all the media stuff. Day to day, it's a lot more individual talk to the players, but I don't feel any pressure. The only time I've felt nervous all year is the 80 minutes of football. It's an intense, been a spectator in the box, but the rest of the week and the training and the pressure that everyone else puts on us, I haven't felt that at any stage, and I'm not feeling it this week, but I feel real excitement. The boys always give me faith in the way they prepare, and they haven't given me anything different not to feel that way this week.
Let's rewind a little bit to kind of how Andrew Webster got here as a coach of the Warriors in 2023. What was Andrew Webster, the player, like?
Slow, ordinary. Yeah, I always felt I understood the game and knew it really well. I wasn't very good, but I was lucky enough to get to play with some good players when I was younger, and I got to be in professional environments and learn from some good coaches. So I knew when I wasn't going to make it, I wanted to get straight into coaching. So I started when I was young, when I was 23, and got some good opportunities overseas and back home when I came home here.
The first time you were kind of really seen on the big stage was 2017. Jason Taylor let go by the Tigers, and you stepped in for a couple of games. Why were you so eager to take on that challenge? I know you were close with Jason Taylor, but you put your hand up, and it was a a big kind of void to step into.
Yeah.
Why did you want to take that on?
Oh, well, the club asked me to, first of all. I felt I was, more than happy and more than ready to have a crack at it. You don't have pre-seasons to put things in place that you'd like to. You got literally 2 training sessions in a week as an interim coach, and you just got to try and bring the boys together. And I'm glad I did it. I learned so much to that. I learned that I didn't feel the pressure that week. I was more excited and enjoyed it. And if anything, it gave me more aspirations to one day do it.
So it didn't put you off? Because I know, straight away there and you're dealing with 20 cameras and...
That was crazy.
It's a baptism of fire, right, straight away.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was part of the gig. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was a shock to the system. I've never been through that. But yeah, I didn't walk away that day thinking about the cameras. I remember walking away that day, can we win this week?
How'd you end up at Penrith?
Ivan spoke to me. Trent Barrett was going to the Dogs as head coach. There was an attacking coach position there. I'd worked with Ivan at the Tigers. We spoke about the opportunity. I said, look, I'm in a position that I'd be keen to have a crack at it. And because we worked together, he thought I could do well there. And it was something that, to be honest, I walked into there at a good time. Like, they'd won 17 in a row the year before, got the grand final. So I was walking into a really good, strong club at the time. And I felt that obviously I was lucky enough to be there. Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you learn being involved in probably one of the better teams of the modern generation, if not one of the best?
I think the biggest thing I learnt there was connection, just how much they wanted to play for each other, and what went on in those 4 walls were the most important things to them. Their identity and their connection to their local community.
How do you create that?
I feel if you try and force it, that's never going to work, because if you try and force connection and relationships on people, they're probably going to push away from each other more. But if you put them in an environment where they're enjoying themselves and they get to be themselves, then it'll organically happen, and they'll start moving towards each other and still start having respect for each other. And the moment they have respect for each other, they might not have the same upbringings or the same things in common, but yet they can find a common ground when they get along with each other.
Your signing with the Warriors was quiet, not much fanfare, not much talk about it. Like, did you enjoy that process, that you didn't have to see it in the papers or anything like that?
I think that was a real credit to our front office, and it made me think that this club was a club that could keep things in-house and trusted when they said to me, look, Webby, this is not going to be in the papers. This is going to stay in between these 4 walls. And I trusted that process, and I trusted them. And then when I heard nothing in the papers and it wasn't coming out, I was really excited by that. I liked being in the background. So that was good for me.
What was your first conversation with Cameron George like?
Yeah, that was a good one. He just asked me if I was interested. I probably showed a bit of excitement and said I was pretty strong that I was interested. I wasn't interested to be a head coach of every NRL club. Like, I wasn't looking for just any job, and the opportunity to be head coach where I'd worked before, the Warriors were one of those clubs that I was passionate about, and I thought I could have an impact. So when you feel like you want to work somewhere and you feel like you can have an impact, they're the clubs you want to go for.
What was the thing that made you feel so comfortable about the Warriors, that when you were here, it kind of spoke to you to come back?
Yeah, I felt last time here, the experience I had with the people here in New Zealand was amazing. The players themselves, I thought, were so respectful, and such a great culture of people. Felt the difference this time was a real ambition from the head office. I thought Cameron and Mark didn't want to just make up the numbers, and they had a real clear plan. And then that made me feel really comfortable. And it's cool when you come to a place and you like Auckland, you like New Zealand, you like the culture here, you know where you're going. And my wife was here with me last time, so that was exciting. And yeah, it was an easy transition for me.
Apparently the first thing you did was you saw the roster, you rang every player and said,
yep,
I'm with you, I'm backing you.
Yep.
I don't need any more changes, I don't need to bring anyone in. Why was that so important to do?
When change happens, it scares people. And when you're scared of something and you're unsure of something, how can you actually produce your best work? I mean, sometimes that's the best thing for people, but I want them to know that I wanted them here, and I wanted to give them every opportunity to get better and be a success. And I wanted to let them know I was on board with them. And if they had that belief, then from me to them, then they'd start believing themselves. And I said, in 12 months' time, we'll see where that takes us. And yeah, I think our retention and players that we want to keep at the club is a no-brainer here at the moment. Majority of those guys will be here again next year.
The personnel stayed the same, but what, if it may be a mantra or a style, or what was the first thing you thought you needed to address when you got your feet under the desk here at the Warriors?
We had to address the past. We had to address, not in lots of detail, because we wanted to be a new team and we wanted to not constantly reference it. So I wanted to talk about it and get rid of it. And then I wanted the biggest thing was, I want us to compete every day training, like compete really hard at no matter what we did and have that real urge to win. And these boys competed hard from day one. So they showed me that they wanted it. And I think that was the thing. We needed to make training hard. We needed to compete a lot, and we needed to put some competition around it, because that's what the NRL is about, isn't it? It's about winning or losing, and that's what I wanted to try and create.
I read that you have a mantra that everyone's responsible for their own development.
Yep.
Where does that come from?
I think when I was here last time, everything was handed to them, like their own development, and even other clubs I've worked at. These boys train, they get showered, they get dressed, they do weights, they get showered and dressed again, and they work really hard physically. But mentally, I think they needed to go and watch their own training, watch their own game, and actually come to us with some answers and create some dialogue. And I wanted the coaches to meet them in the middle, so the coaches to keep doing all the hard work they were doing, and we were going to cut the clips and show them that. But I wanted them to come with an opinion and some answers on their own performance. And yeah, they need to be in charge. If they really are that ambitious and they really do care that much, then they'll actually show an interest instead of walking up to the coaches and saying, "What do you got for me?"
The big talking point this year,
Yep.
apart from the form of the whole team, is the form of Shaun Johnson and the way he's played. What was your relationship like with Shaun before you came over and took over as head coach?
Yeah, when I was assistant coach with Shaun, I ran the attack, so Shaun's a very good attacking player, so that was a good relationship. We enjoyed each other's company off the field. I'd obviously developed and changed a lot since I was an assistant coach. And he had too. He'd had some experiences where he'd moved countries, moved clubs, and he was going through a tough time with everything he was going through, being away from his family and the whole Redcliffe. I mean, he signed to come back to New Zealand to be with the Warriors, and that's not what happened. He was separated from his family. So, yeah, my relationship prior to working with Shaun, he was always good, get along well off the field socially, and yeah, professionally it was always good.
Why did you believe in him and that he had this kind of performances in him?
Yeah, I always felt like key indicators for Shaunie over his whole career is if he was happy off the field and things were going good, then he was going to play good football. And you could say that about every single human being, that if they're happy in their life, then they'll work well. But I think it has a bigger impact on some. And yeah, it's a big deal being away from your family. And I thought that stability that he was going to get coming home. I just thought there were signs last year that everyone told me he was slow, and they were acting like he was 100 years old, not in his early 30s. And yeah, I saw him play here at the first game back home, and to me there was indication to me that he had a lot to offer still. He just needed to be a bit happier and away from the game. And if he did that, I thought we just create some clarity around the way we wanted to play, then I think things would be a lot simpler and a lot happier for him. And give him a chance to express himself and let him have a stay in the way we wanted to play too. And he's certainly done that. He's been our general, and he's got the team around, and he's got his fingerprints all over it.
The technicalities in Shaun's game, like, you've always known he's had the flair, the brilliance, the ability to play off the cuff better than most ever. But to become that kind of, that general, as you mentioned, that consistent guy who's doing it like all great halfbacks do, just like to a T in the right place at the right time, putting the ball in the right place at the right time. He seemed like he's done that this year, probably more than ever in his career.
I think you mature every year. I think you realise what doesn't work for you and doesn't work for the team. And look, if we get to a particular point of the field, everyone needs to know what sort of shape they need to fall into for Shaun, and then Shaun can turn around and play to that. So there's a lot of things going around that's just allowing Shaun to still be that creative guy, but he can turn and talk to the team, and they're already where it's important that they're already where he needs them, instead of him turning around and trying to demand them to do something. So I think that's been the biggest difference. They know where to be for him when he needs them. When he turns and asks for that play, they're already ahead of it. I think that's helped I think the kicking game and the man management thing, that's all Sean.
How do you keep it going long term to build a culture of winning here at this club?
We're not here just to have one good year. We want to have a good year every year, and that's our whole motto: is we win everything we do, every week, every game, every training session. And if we do that enough times, we're going to have sustained success. So, yeah, this year's been great, and to be honest, my focus is winning now. Try and win this final series, but yeah, there's always one eye on the future, and you've got to plan, and we've put things in place that hopefully can set this club up forever.
Just finally, why can the Wars go all the way in season 2023?
I think we've got a good side, mate. Yeah, I think we can. I think we believe in ourselves. I think the boys know what it looks like. They know what the game is. If they get beaten, it won't be because it's something they've learnt overnight or something different. Yeah, the boys believe in their game and their style, and they know what they've got to do. And why not? They're a good side, so they believe in each other.
Andrew Webster, thank you so much for your time. Good luck with the final series.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
No, cheers. Thank you.